Good afternoon, America. And I'm I'm not in the greatest mood. You're not in the greatest mood. What we saw was, in our estimation, the worst that could happen. This country's seen worse. This country's been worse. I'm not going to tell you that we don't have dark days ahead. We very well might. I wasn't going to do this today because, frankly, I'm in pain. You're in pain too. I get it. Trust me on this. I fully get it. Kind of like that I can actually see that Spirit is in the room watching. Somebody else is as well. But I am in pain. Make no mistake about that. I really had hope. Right up till last night, I was on John Bernavo's first Blue Dot Family Live since he's been back, and in a different way. Was able to share the stage with me on camera. Was also able to share the stage with Tennessee Brando. All people. And there it is right there, Spirit. I'm hurting too. But I am not giving it up. None of us should. It hurts. I know. It hurts. It's gonna hurt. Uh, Tina Merriweather, I'm sick about it too. This morning I said I wasn't going to be answering calls. I wasn't going to be doing anything political. I was just, I need time. And I probably do. I know a number of you do. I know where we are. I know what you feel. But I got hit hard by a thing that was said by a president that I respect and admire and feel is who saved this country. And that would be Mr. Joseph Biden. His words: "You can't only love your country when you win." I thought about that a lot today, and I realized I still love my country a lot. I like to see changes. I'd like to see things better. But you can't only love your country when you win. You still got to hold on to that deep, abiding love for who we are and what we are as Americans. You may have noticed that I started this whatever the time was. I waited until Vice President Harris finished her concession speech at Howard University. I would say this: we'd be in a lot better place today. We'd feel a lot more comfortable today had the former guy just simply done the same thing. We know what happened, and we hated it, and it made us angry. You know what? We can't just run the country angry. It can't be just your anger that moves things. We've got so much that we can do with our love for each other. I was kind of proud because I've been saying it for a lot longer. Ms. Harris said, we have a lot more in common than what divides us. I say it a little differently. We have a lot more in common than that which would divide us. But that's the truth. And that didn't change last night. That didn't change when we got the news this morning. None of that changed. It's still true. Another thing that's still true: we are still a democracy. Is it being threatened? I think it is. Is it being rattled to its bones? I think it is. But we still have a democracy. I had said when I started this, It's a sad day. America has seen sadder days. Michael, there's no surprise there. We knew that was going to happen. In fact, I honestly feel that that was the main reason that he ran again. Is he going to make it 4 years? I doubt it. Doesn't matter. He won. He gets to pick the Attorney General. The Attorney General he picks will throw all of that away. On the federal level, that doesn't mean that the state charges are going to go away. It doesn't mean that the state penalties that are exacted are going to go away. Those aren't. And okay, he's not going to be able to. We're not going to see him pay up in the next 4 years, but that could happen. But let's make a very, very serious point here. We can't just sit here and hope for retribution. I feel that we've earned it. I feel scorned. I feel battered. I wouldn't mind a little payback. But that's not how we move forward. That's how a certain guy moves forward. And we're going to see that. We're going to see it some. But we're also going to have to do a thing. We're going to have to build. We're going to have to build on our losses. That's not an easy thing to do, but we've done it before, and we'll do it again. We need to fix the things that we did wrong in this election, because we did some things wrong in this election that we should have learned in 2016. We had enough pissed off people in 2020 that we didn't address some of that. But we need to. There are things that brought that about. We saw some of it, but I'm not sure we learned from all of it. And we have to. We simply must. We can't be as simplistic as they're the bad guys, we're the good guys. They, us. We can't be that simplistic. There's a lot of reasons for that. We are not a perfect union. We have never been a perfect union. We've been the best one out there, but we have not been perfect. We are a country of confrontation, compromise, and uneasy coexistence. That's not going to change. And frankly, that's a part of what, we don't got to make it great again. We're great already. That's what we need to get to. We need to understand that we are not a perfect union. Looking for that is just as bad as not looking at the reasons we lost in 2016, which some of them carried over to last night. You have to remember that going forward, when we're looking at this, it's easy to throw stones at people that don't agree with you. That's very easy. You know what's harder? Throwing stones at people that don't agree with you all the way. We got a lot of people in this country that don't agree with us all the way. It's just the way it is, people. That means that some of what we want, some of what we feel is imperative, is going to be compromised. Always has been, always will be. You know what? That is what makes America great. That's what makes us great. Doesn't change that I'm a blue dot. Doesn't change that I'm a blue dot in a very, very red area. John and I had this talk. Tennessee Brando and I had this talk. We are just that. We are blue dots in a very, very red area. However, even here, we are not alone. I'm going to read something to you. I'm going to read something to you from a friend of mine, someone I count as a dear friend. I'm not going to name them, but this is a person that I came to know a couple of years back and have come to know more in the course of the last year. This is a person that may or may not have voted for Donald Trump yesterday. I can tell you one thing for sure. This is not a person that is gleeful that he won. And there's a lot of us and a lot of people such as she. I'm going to read the message she sent to me. Told you people earlier, I'm not going to be paying attention to messages. But I wanted to see what this one was because I knew this was not from a deplorable. This was not from a Trumper. This was from a Republican friend of mine that I count even more a friend because of all the things that people have sent me today. These words were the most solace. I'm thinking of you today, Leo. I understand your concerns. My hope is that we together as a country can stop with all the hate, name-calling, and vitriol and come together and heal. To come together and work with each other for the betterment of all Americans and just not one specific agenda. I have the utmost respect for you, and I pray that we can move forward in a positive way. I replied, as usual, my replies are wordy. She's a little wordy too, but that's okay. And to my reply, which was pretty much in agreement with what she said, Leo, I think the world of you and know your heart is good. You and I have always felt we were in trouble either way the vote went last night. I too hope and pray that we as a country survive this, as I'm not the biggest fan of his. I can only hope that arrogance doesn't prevail and that since Republicans hold all the three branches, that they don't abuse the power that has been awarded them. It's a time of healing. And I pray that is the message that the Republicans promote. And they lead by example. Regardless of the outcome, you are my friend, Leo, and I do respect your opinion, even if it differs from mine at times. We will be okay. We will survive this. My quick, short reply was, thank you. I feel the same. We could sit there and say, oh my, but how are we going to go forward? How can we possibly go forward after all of this? We can go forward by understanding that everybody isn't the same, that everybody doesn't feel exactly the way we feel. They're not going to feel the same way. They're going to have differences. I want to talk about some of those that were important to us and are still important to us. But let's think about it for a moment. Let's think about the fact that there really are two sides to this coin. I'll talk specifically about student loans. Yeah, that whole system is kind of screwed up. Very predatory. And it really should be changed. But when we look at just full loan forgiveness, which it's not really forgiving a full loan, and I wish people would look at it a little differently than that. But when we do look at that, you have to remember, and you're some of these people, we have people out there that have lived through this predatory lending. And they paid off their loans. And by looking at other people who were in pretty much the same circumstances they were, being given a pass, that is going to have an effect. They might be jealous of that. They might be angry about it. Are they wrong? I don't know. I kind of think they are. But does that mean that their opinion and their feelings about that aren't valid? I don't think so. I don't think it means that. I think it means that somewhere along the line, we're going to have to find compromise. I don't know exactly what that compromise is yet, but that's a lot of things. There are a lot of things like that. How many things are there? Whatever those things are, we can't just stand there and scream, "You're wrong." And I've been guilty of that. I've known that I've gone too far with it sometimes. We can't just scream, "You're wrong." If we're going to yell anything, say, "Come here, sit down, let's talk about this." That's a thing we're going to have to do, people. We're going to have to sit down and talk about this. In all of it, I find one thing the same. Felt this way for a very long time. Moderation is the key. Moderation is something that can actually make a difference. Moderation and listening to other people is how we move forward. Everybody's asking that. How are we going to go forward? I'm going to close this by reminding you of a thing. We've already been through 4 years that we hated. You know, I hated them. You hated them. Fought like hell against them. Here's what I'm going to say. As hard as I fought, I've been wrong about other shit. I pray to God I was wrong about a lot of my feelings in that. Do I think I am? No. Nor do you. But I do pray that I was wrong. There are so many people right now hurting. I would say to all of you, it's time to straighten your crown, princess. Stand up. That's kind of a very, it's a phrase that's used a lot among the gay community, and you know, I know this because I have a gay bonus son. You know the stories. Straighten your crown, princess. We've got to move forward. We've got work to do. I have another prayer, and that is that the guardrails are there, much as my friend said in her answer to me, that sensibility and the rule of law and just pure fatigue with the chaos will be enough to keep this in check. Those guardrails are there still. They're shaken, they're weak, but they're holding. We still have them. We have less of them, and those that are there are shaky, but they're there. Going forward, I know what I'm going to do. The same thing I've always been doing. Doesn't change my feelings about these things, and it shouldn't change yours. It might change my approach a little bit, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe I shouldn't be as caustic as I am. Maybe I shouldn't have such blinders that tell me this is wrong, this is right, black and white. I know better than that. I'm a grown-up too. We still have grown-ups in this government. Am I happy about the leadership coming? Absolutely not. But what I will say is something that Vice President Harris said today. It isn't until You're at the darkest point that you can see those billions of stars in the sky. You're those billions of stars. You shine bright. Lick your wounds. Heal. We know. I know. I'm hurting. You are too. But that doesn't mean turn away. That doesn't mean give up the fight. It means we got to regroup. We lost this battle. We haven't lost the war. That was another thing she said today. To me, that's inspiration. We lost this battle. That's okay. We're going to move on from this battle. We're going to regroup. And finally, maybe we will look at that other side and why they are so adamant about some of the things they are. Maybe we can listen a little bit. And maybe we can find that smoother middle ground. Those are my prayers. I know you're hurting, people. I will talk to you again soon. I do still need a couple of days to heal. Expect to see me again soon, though. I love all of you. You're amazing. We did fight the good fight. Know that. Let's keep working. I love you, America. Share this shit.